SummerSlam has just ended and the main WrestleMania matches are starting to be leaked. Already people seem to be furious with the card, disappointed at the placement of Solo Sikoa, in general not too enthused about where The Rock's involved, and of course the big question, will Becky Lynch even be there? Today we're going to look at WrestleMania. I've laid out 13 matches, some of which are rumoured, some of which are predicted, some of which are definitely going to be happening. So strap in as we go through the entire card for WrestleMania 41 months before it happens. WrestleMania opens with a rematch and the return of a key free agent designed to be so important to the WWE model. Becky Lynch returns and opens WrestleMania once again against Rhea Ripley. I don't have Liv Morgan on this card at all. In fact, around War Games time, I have Rhea Ripley reclaiming her championship, laying waste to Dominic Mysterio, and Liv Morgan kind of being left in the rearview mirror, at least until it's her turn to tangle with the Wild Six. Instead, we open with a champion Rhea Ripley once again being challenged by the man Becky Lynch, a stronger, smarter, better Becky Lynch, who will once again pick up the loss. It's just another way to further endorse Rhea Ripley, the new queen of the WWE, the new man, as it were, because Mammy is only one letter away. John Cena retires in 2025, and this WrestleMania will be his last. Part of his overall retirement tour, I have him facing Logan Paul in a move that I'd imagine is going to make you very angry in the comments. If you have a better option for Logan Paul, let me know. But for me, John Cena versus Logan Paul is everything that the WWE want. A truly hateable, detestable heel going up against Mr. Hustle, loyalty and respect. And in many ways, I see John Cena coming out with the win here, really putting to bed a lot of the issues that he's had at times, being the absolute killer, and yet still, very much now, the guy who buries everyone, fully deserving of a proper send-off by a heel who has a lot left to learn. Cena has many months left ahead of him. I have Logan Paul being the guy to face him now because he will not be the last person to face John Cena. John Cena will have months to go of people that he'll be beating and losing to, in much the same way that Kurt Angle went on a retirement tour before losing to Baron Corbin. I do feel like they'll have a bigger name beat Cena, but it will not be Logan Paul. In our first of the non-title women's matches, I have Bayley facing up against a newly heel Jade Cargill. I don't actually have Bianca Belair on the card this year, primarily because I wanted to get Bayley in there, though Bianca Belair versus Jade Cargill is something that the WWE are actively building towards. It's not guaranteed who's going to turn heel, but right now, with the reception to Jade Cargill so far, it seems like they're looking to turn her heel, and I don't think you can have a WrestleMania without Bayley, at least not anymore. I have Bayley versus Jade Cargill, and Bayley puts over Jade Cargill as she starts a new phase, something she's never done before, which is putting over the up-and-comers, something Bayley does every single second of every single day. The hopes for Jade Cargill were very high, and this is not exactly how they wanted things to start. But Bayley is an experienced hand who can get the most out of her, get a compelling, interesting feud and a compelling, interesting match out of her. And in many ways, while Bianca Belair versus Jade Cargill might be the one that makes it, I don't want WrestleMania without Bayley. Definitely the most controversial of the matches that have already been pitched and already been leaked is Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa, something first reported by myself and confirmed by names like Dave Meltzer over the course of it. Solo Sikoa is the second tribal chief, there to overthrow Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns has a job to do making him look good. He's made Tongaloa and Tama Tonga look a bit, normal, but Solo Sikoa's the one. In many ways, he was going to be the one crowned after Roman anyway, and Roman wants to make him look this good. Unfortunately, it's too late because you debuted Jacob Fatu, who will be feuding with Roman straight afterwards and will leave Roman badly beaten in the process. In fact, while I originally had Solo Sikoa winning this one, I've changed. I believe Roman will be the winner, so that Jacob Fatu will be the one to eventually overthrow our tribal chief, mine and yours. For the Intercontinental Championship, I have Bron Breakker carrying this gold all the way to WrestleMania, where he loses it to, I don't think this will surprise anyone, Ilya Dragunov. There is a brand new Intercontinental Championship division being built around what was Sami Zayn, now being built around Bron Breakker and Ilya Dragunov. There'll be a number of people who dip in and out of this one. I, for example, very much have my eye on names such as Carmelo Hayes, but right now we are building around big, strong men like Bron Breakker and Ilya Dragunov. And with the injuries sustained by Ilya Dragunov in his workings with Bron Breakker, the story is already there. Breakker will face off against a number of people to start with. We're definitely going to be seeing names like Sheamus involved, but for now, he's going to look great. Ilya Dragunov seems a natural giant killer. The penultimate match for night one is a 6-man tag, and while this doesn't automatically seem exciting, let me walk you through who I'm seeing in this one. I have the Usos, Jimmy and Jay, back as a team again, reunited for War Games with Sami Zayn. So the Usos and Sami Zayn on one side. On the other side, I have the Wyatt Six. That's right, Uncle Howdy and his minions will be taking on the Usos and Sami Zayn. That's my prediction, and honestly, I don't even know how they get there. I just think it'd be an amazing match. This has elements of The Shield versus the Wyatt family, and I do feel it'll be very similarly played out. I can see it being, for example, a 6-man elimination match in a way that really does show you what this new version of the Wyatt Six are all about. Mercy the Buzzard, Huskus the Pig, and of course, Big Eric Rowan as the Rambling Rabbit are there to win matches. They are there to show their high-paced, high-octane wrestling styles, and they are there to deliver. The Usos and Sami Zayn have exactly what they need to put them firmly onto the map as they head into Phase 2 and a Rambling Rabbit that rambles all the way away. Our final match of Night 1, our main event, would be for the World Heavyweight Championship. I have Gunther defending against the winner of the Royal Rumble, Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre signed a new contract fairly recently after this year's WrestleMania, and in that he was promised World Championship matches, World Championship opportunities, World Championship reigns. And Gunther, your new World Heavyweight Champion, has history with Drew McIntyre. Many Survivor Series ago in 2019, Gunther sustained a loss and a 1-2-3 to one Claymore. He was the first man eliminated from a classic Survivor Series style triple threat elimination match. Then, SummerSlam last year, Gunther got his revenge, a clean win in short order against Drew McIntyre. This time, we have our rubber match, our rubber moment, but not a rubber jaw, because Gunther versus Drew McIntyre seems like it's going to be the banger of all bangers. We know what these men can do. We know at last year's WrestleMania we had Gunther versus McIntyre versus Sheamus. We know what these men can deliver, and honestly, I'm thrilled to have this as a main event and Drew McIntyre winning the big one at WrestleMania in front of the fans, a face again, and allowed finally to celebrate. We move on to night 2 then, and we start with Heat. Seth Rollins versus CM Punk, the match they wanted to main event night 1 this year, if not for injuries to Seth and to CM Punk at the same time. You do not get more unlucky or more jinxed than that. God did not want this match to happen. Well, they're trying again. Can Triple H be stronger than God? As for the winner, if this match happened this year's WrestleMania, I had Seth Rollins picking up the win. CM Punk was always going to lose his first match back. But as it's happening next year instead, and we've had a whole year of CM Punk being involved in his own way, proving what he delivers, I actually have Punk winning this one, winning the opening match of night 2, and Seth Rollins, who in many ways is still carrying the same injuries he picked up before WrestleMania this year. So we're talking 7-8 months of injuries that Seth Rollins has. He unfortunately will not be making it for this one. Next, we have the Women's Championship on the SmackDown side, and my predicted winner here will shock you. We have Nia Jax defending the championship against a face Charlotte Flair. Now, this is WrestleMania, this is Charlotte Flair. I know fans won't necessarily be 100% behind it, but they hate Jax more than they hate Charlotte. So I do think there'll still be plentiful boos for Nia Jax, and that's the point. Charlotte Flair, you see, even in this big moment, is not going to come away with the championship, but neither is Nia Jax. In fact, with Nia Jax almost definitely about to be beaten, with Nia Jax about to tap out to the figure 8, Tiffany Stratton makes her entrance with her briefcase, cashes in to make the match a triple threat, and pins Charlotte Flair in a triple threat at WrestleMania to become the new women's champion. She rescues Nia Jax from tapping out, which also allows Nia Jax to then go forward and say, I wasn't going to tap out, you stole my championship, I had that match won. We then move on to Tiffany versus Charlotte, and also a slow face turn for Tiffany Stratton until she's ready to take on Nia Jax and formally become the hero that we all deserve. Guys, I'm trying to tell you, it's Tiffy time. In our second of 4 serious grudge matches, we see the end of the Judgment Day Civil War. Damian Priest, after 8 months, finally gets his hands on Finn Balor. After defeating Dominic, after defeating JD, after defeating Carlito, after just still fighting this entire time, finally, Damian Priest gets hold of Finn Balor, and I don't even have this match lasting 5 minutes. I have Finn Balor being utterly and absolutely torn apart. Damian Priest basically reclaiming his position at the top of the card, ready to go up against Drew McIntyre to try and reclaim his World Heavyweight Championship. That is a feud I want to see. As regards Dominic Mysterio, I don't see him making the card in a wrestling capacity this year. Even though he is someone that Triple H wants to have on the card every single year, that does not guarantee that that moment will come. Instead, I see Dominic heading down with Finn Balor and also getting very badly hurt by Damian Priest. I even see a Rhea Ripley moment where she helps out Damian Priest to stop Liv Morgan too. Judgment Day Civil War all comes together in this one match. In our second Wyatt 6 match of the night, Nikki Cross enters the fray against Alexa Bliss. Now, this depends on a lot of things, and I want to be clear, this is a prediction, not a spoiler, but from where I am sitting, the return of Alexa Bliss is pretty much impending. They're waiting for the right storyline, and the Wyatt 6 are not only the right storyline, they are the perfect storyline. I do not want to live in a world where Alexa Bliss and the Wyatt 6 do not encounter themselves again. It seems fated. It seems destined. And you cannot celebrate Alexa Bliss's return better than having her go over Nikki Cross at WrestleMania and then being kidnapped by Uncle Howdy. The next phase, as I've mentioned, of the Wyatt 6 involves Eric Rowan and a fair few moves, but Alexa Bliss has a lot to say about it too. The United States Championship match is the penultimate match for night 2, and honestly, this is a classic throwback, very different to what you'd expect in the main event, and very different from what you've seen for the rest of the entire show. I have LA Knight defending one-on-one against Randy Orton, a match that will basically take wrestling back in time about 15 years, to the days when Triple H was at the top with his championship, wrestling slower than you can possibly imagine. But Randy Orton is a big proponent of the future, and that's why he probably shouldn't be wrestling LA Knight, who is himself by this point also the past. The United States Championship has been with Randy Orton a few times. He tends to compete for it at WrestleMania lately, and honestly, this was just a way of getting Randy Orton on the card for me. LA Knight is not necessarily the ideal opponent, but he is the opponent lined up that we have. Our main event then, of WrestleMania 41. For the longest time, from WrestleMania 30, indeed all the way to WrestleMania 40, WrestleMania's main events were dominated by Roman Reigns. I had him in the middle of night 1 here. So who could main event? Who is now the face of the WWE? The WWE Undisputed Not Universal Champion Cody Rhodes, defending against the head of the table, The Rock. This has already been teased. When The Rock appeared the night after WrestleMania and showed Cody Rhodes his belt and then looked at Cody Rhodes' belt, it was all they could do to smack us in the face with basic cod pieces. They knew what they were doing. They were trying to make us look at where they wear their belts because they want to smash him around and just basically have that sword fight at WrestleMania. It is generational. It will be record-breaking. It will be huge. Cody Rhodes is the guy at the top of the WWE, and The Rock losing to him will only further solidify it. Tell me in the comments what you do or do not agree with, and what you think of the WrestleMania card I've proposed there. Until then, check out my predictions for the upcoming Bash at Berlin pay-per-view on screen now.